Here we are at a distance once again for our only fundraising event. This is year 8 of Feed the Valley. Thanks for being part of our evening. I'm Tracy Mackey, the CEO at Valley Outreach, an organization founded by this community. Our mission is to help people move their lives forward through basic need services and personalized support. Through our work, we help create a vibrant and resilient community where let's make it better together is a call to action. One of our clients shared, "I've had my fair share of hard times, and Valley Outreach is the most amazing support I've encountered. If you're looking for somebody to lift you up and not just hand you something, they are the place to go." That phrase in there, "not just hand you something," is incredibly empowering for me to hear as a leader and for our team to hear at Valley Outreach about how we show up in community. We're not doing things to people. We're trying to help move them along to what their version of stability is.
Absolutely. Valley Outreach isn't just a place to fill your pantry or maybe get a couple of extra outfits for an interview. It's a place to really learn how to be your truest self in the best way possible. I'm Nathan Hess, a board member. I became aware of Valley Outreach when I was a SNAP Ed educator in the Washington County area. I knew how a food shelf worked from a client perspective, but had very little idea of how they worked from the inside. So I showed up at Valley Outreach and got to know more about the programming that happens here, and I haven't left since. So for our program, if you can, watch us on one device and give on another. Have your phone handy while you watch on your computer or tablet. With pre-event bidding on desserts and early donations from our community, we are set to have a successful night if you come alongside and join with a donation. We have a short program with 2 videos and a special giving announcement. We will wrap up about 7:20 though. Our giving site will remain open until next Friday, November 5th.
Tonight, we have an ambitious event goal of $175,000. We're on our way to meeting that, but it will take all of us to come together and make a contribution. You have been so generous at past Feed the Valley events. I hope we can count on you again. First up, since many of you have not been here recently, I'll take you on a video tour. There's more inside Valley Outreach. Welcome. It's been a while. So much has changed for us during the pandemic, and so many things have happened inside the building and the way we run our programs. We wanted to give you a little behind the scenes tour. So as you know, Valley Outreach was founded in this community 38 years ago as only a food shelf. And over the decades, so much has changed and expanded. The clothing program, financial assistance, connections to resources, and of course, our deeper level case management. So let's take a look at what it's all about. People seeking support will always be met by a volunteer or a staff member here in the lobby or in the parking lot at their car. So when you come here, it's an easy way to check in. You can do it on your phone, or if you don't have a phone, someone will check you in using one of our tablets. To sign in for services, we just ask for a few questions. And when you text the word visit to your phone, you're provided a link that allows you to give us basic information. And as soon as you do that, you're checked in and you're in line for service, whatever that may be. If you prefer to stay curbside, you can order on your phone or from our tablet, and we'll pack the food in here and bring it to your car. If you'd like to do in-person shopping, let's get a sense of how that works. In the last year, we have invested considerable time and money into building the capacity of all of our programs, but no place is it more visible than in our core program, our Valley Outreach Food Shelf. This program is considered a SuperShelf. We were the very first in the state. There are now more than 30 SuperShelf programs across Minnesota. And what it means is we subscribe to a model of always having a variety of produce available for families. They will always have access to dairy, milk, eggs, lean proteins so that they can cook for themselves at home, healthy meals in ways that work for them. A shift in food shelves in recent years has been a focus on fresh and perishable food. And to really leverage that, it means you have to have some place to store it all. So in the last year, we did an installation of a brand new 14-door cooler and a 7-door freezer. It's pretty impressive. It allows people to shop from the front like you would at a regular grocery store, Well, we stock from the back. One of the things people don't understand when they first come in here, they look and they go, wow, that's amazing. How did you afford it? And we afforded it because during COVID, the federal government had dollars available for food shelves all across the country. And we thought, what can we do with that funding? We've never had it before. We're probably never going to get it again. And we decided to absolutely go deep into building up the programming. Our clients have loved this. It feels very normal to come in here and shop like you would for a grocery store and choose what works for your family. When people shop, we offer them a list of guidelines. It has suggested quantities, and people can choose what works for their family. They do not have to take everything that's on the list, but they can select what their kids will eat, what they will eat. At the end of their shopping visit, everything is put up onto a scale and weighed out. And this is an important point. It doesn't matter how much it weighs or how much a family takes, but it's one of the ways that we track what comes in and what goes out. It allows us to track trends in usage over time and helps us better stock the inventory for the organization. So to recap, there's 3 ways you can connect for food here. You can do the curbside drive up, you can come to shop in person, and we also offer home delivery 3 days a week for people who don't have access to a vehicle or don't drive or have a health condition that prevents them from driving. Okay, running the food shelf we do means there are lots of moving parts. Everything that comes into this building and everything that goes out of this building is weighed. We are also moving thousands of pounds of food every day. Sometimes we are moving thousands of pounds of food on the hour. We have a couple different things happening back here. One of the big parts of our program is what's called retail rescue. And those are products that are picked up from grocery stores that are just at or just past expiration. One of the things that's interesting and we spend a lot of time doing is myth busting on expiration dates and what is best buy. Food waste is a pretty significant problem in this country, and by taking in retail rescue, we're keeping things out of the landfills, and we're still moving on, again, in that cycle of stewardship, really good products to people who really want healthy, fresh items. If you're one of those people who loves a logistical challenge, we would welcome you to come back into this warehouse and spend some time volunteering. We are excellent stewards of the resources that the community gives to us. And I think this is one of the prime examples back here. And this is the not so pretty behind the scenes pieces that happen. But this is where the donations of all the gently used clothing that the community gives us land. And what we end up doing here is opening every single bag and sorting through it. If it's items we love and we need, we will hang on to them for our clients to go into StyleXchange. If they are things that are worn or stained or torn and have a little too much wear, we will send them to a textile recycler. And as well, if we have one too many of a particular item, we will send it to another nonprofit partner. But this is a terrific example of ways people can intersect with Valley Outreach and a way that they can also connect to our clients. We're pretty excited about this part of the program, StyleXchange. Last year, we opened up in here for a couple of weeks before the pandemic shut us down. But this space is double the size of what it used to be. It's very light, it's very bright, and it has distinct sections for each member of the family. When our clients check in here, we find out the number of individuals in their family, and then they are assigned points based on the number in their family. They get one of these handy dandy StyleXchange cards, and every time they come into shop, they just look at the price list being points, and they use what's loaded on their card to choose items. So what's awesome about here is we have a really great variety of what we call brand names to basics. For years now, we have connected people to resources. We often hand you information on how to do it yourself, or we will walk you through what's available. But hands down, the biggest gap in the basic needs social service sector is affordable housing. And so for this next year, we're going to test the waters on yet another program expansion. And we will be having on site for a 1-year period an AmeriCorps Housing Resource Navigator. Kind of a mouthful, but what it means is that we will have a staff person here, partially supported by an AmeriCorps cohort. There are people all across the state doing this work, and we will help you come up with a housing plan. figure out the pieces of the puzzle that need to fall into place so that we can get you stably housed and ready for what comes next. So thanks for coming inside today. I hope you learned a little bit more about what happens behind the scenes. The number of people we are currently serving is unbelievable. I hope we continue to show up as we always have, with dignity for our clients, compassion, support. But I will tell you, we cannot do it without the support of our community. Thank you.
I think what we just saw is so impressive. The programs are so impactful. Valley Outreach truly is a leader in our nonprofit world. It's an authentic community effort too. It takes hundreds of volunteers giving thousands of hours coming alongside our staff team to make this place run. It also takes trust. We welcome everyone and serve with dignity. People trust us to help when they are often at their most vulnerable. We have many statistics and numbers about our services and impact. You can find them on our website. But nothing highlights the work here better than the people.
When we're filming our videos, we're trying to find a story or an individual that we can feel good about. We have learned over the years that sharing the story of struggle and then someone having a resolution or something that's better on the other end of it because we have intervened at Valley Outreach, quite frankly, it plays well, right? We want to feel that we're successful. We want to feel that when I, as a donor, give money to an organization, there's an action that happens because of it. There isn't always a moving from point A to point B to perfection at the end. And the reality of what happens here is people are trying to put it together every day. We're sitting here today without a client voice because one of the very first individuals who was actually willing to share his story is hospitalized for a very serious illness. We had another individual who was very willing to share her story. And then when some family members found out about it, they were extremely uncomfortable. They were worried about the stigma. They were worried about the judgment that comes when you talk about experiencing a crisis with homelessness or a crisis with a job loss. There are so many things coming at people that sometimes where they are at now is as good as it's going to get. But where they're at now could provide stability for a family member, for a child. And we're not going to know all that all the time. We're not going to have the clean, neat, the end and script at the end of every story that we write. For years, Valley Outreach has circled the edges of the here for housing. We have to say, well, we can help you with food, we can help you with some costs, but we don't really have a place for you to live.
When people come in and they have a housing issue that we can't address, I have to tell them in the nicest way and in the most empathetic way that here are the systems that exist to help you, and I am happy to help you do whatever I can to access these resources and to get the help you need. But honestly, it sucks, and I wish there was more.
It has become so clear that it's more than just a funding gap. There is a gap in what's available. There's a gap in understanding this incredibly layered, incredibly complex system.
I tell my clients that I do this all day for a living and they pay me money to do it, and it's still confusing for me. Like, I can't imagine being in the middle of a housing crisis and having to navigate the situation.
And it's really important for us to be part of the solution. For years, organizations have run screaming from the room when people have talked about affordable housing.
I don't think there's a way we could move forward without doing something intentional with housing. Housing is kind of the base of it all.
Our two mayors in Minneapolis and St. Paul have come together and said they're really going to throw some serious dollars from their own budgets towards affordable housing in their communities. The governor of the state has said we have got to start making some serious headway on housing affordability and stability in the state of Minnesota. And then the AmeriCorps program, which is a national service program, announced that they're going to launch a new housing navigator opportunity within the state of Minnesota. We put in a little bit of money and we get a full-time person for 10 months here who's helping to solve for our clients what their housing situation will look like.
When it was first explained to me, like what the program was, I was like, oh yeah, we need that. Like, that's worth every penny that it would cost for us to invest in it. And if it works, I would be 100% for advocating to keep on doing it. Like, it's such an invaluable thing for us to have.
You know, these housing navigators will be placed all over the state of Minnesota. And we can tell the story from the point of view in Washington County, where it is a pretty intense community to live in terms of cost. And if we can help solve some problems here and what they're going to learn in Dakota County and Ramsey County and whatever county in Minnesota, I think we'll start to see some similarities and have new information about how to solve housing going forward. It's really hard to solve some of the world's most intransigent, age-old problems when people don't give you the resources to do it. So I am beyond thrilled that this community continues to show up and continues to give us the resources that we need to do what we did yesterday and what we'll do tomorrow, and then to explore and try some things that we haven't done before.
This is the time in our program when we ask you to make a donation. We are serving more people than ever. While many have found a place to launch their next chapter from, others continue to struggle. The recovery coming out of the pandemic has been very uneven, and many are being left behind. You can make a gift right now. It's really easy. If you received a text, follow the link and give. If you're on a laptop, make a donation. And you are not alone in helping. Our special giving announcement is pretty exciting. We have a $15,000 match available. Dollars you give now will be matched through the fantastic support of 3 couples. So let's hear it for Ann and Dave, Heidi and Rob, and this is So Minnesotan, an anonymous giver. We also celebrate the generosity of another thoughtful, intentional donor who prefers to remain nameless, wanting zero recognition for a $20,000 gift. And thanks to Lori, who really surprised us again with $20,000. At the $10,000 level, thank you to Dave and Ann and Nancy, tremendous ongoing supporters of our work. Who else will join them? You can click on donate. We recognize the quiet philanthropy of an anonymous couple with $5,000. Also donating $5,000 are Sarah and Chris, Liz and Pete, Connie and Joe. Kathy and Mike are in at $3,000. Please join Claudia and Clark at $2,000. There are giving levels that will appeal to you from $1,000 to $500, all the way down to $100. And I want you to know that every gift, regardless of size, will help us make our $175,000 goal. There are giving levels for everyone, and we so appreciate your generosity again.
Thank you to everyone for supporting Feed the Valley this year, especially our wonderful sponsors. Master Chef level, Lake Elmo Bank. Executive Chef level, Ahola Mack and Associates, Ann Anderson Real Estate Group, Bridgewater Bank, First State Bank and Trust, Kowalski's Markets, Leverty Financial Group, and Midwest One Bank. Sous Chef level, 16 sponsors: Anderson Corporation, Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Minnesota, Bluestone Physician Services, Justin and Christy Bonestrew, Candyland, Ethan and Janet Charpentier, First Resource Bank, Foley Colson and Company, Johnson Bielka, Lagersmith, Lee Storzinger Wealth Management, Mary Louise and Doug Manikheim, Premier Banks, Roof Tech, SRI, and Stillwater Investment Management. Pastry Chef level, Eckberg Lammers, Ideal Credit Union, Lakeview Hospital, Royal Credit Union, and Stillwater Trolley. Shout out to Nellie Belly for support, and special thanks to Craig Parent for invitation and print material design, and to Bayport Printing. That's 32 sponsors supporting tonight's event and supporting programs. Thank you. Thank you to individual donors who bought a dessert and bid in the dessert dash. Contributions can be made in our Giving Center until November 5th, 1 week from tonight. With the continued generosity of this community, we can truly say, let's make it better together. Thank you.